And those of you looking for a spoiler right now, double thumbs up. Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this episode we are going to be looking at the Caddx Ratel Starlight FPV camera. Now, this FPV camera was bought out of my own money for my own abuses, and those of you looking for a spoiler right now, double thumbs up. And the reason why I'm giving this FPV camera double thumbs up is because it has worked pretty well, but with one exception. So let's get this unboxed and it's not in there. Where's it gone? It's already in the front of my Dart 250G, and that's the reason why I can give you thumbs up. I've already flown this camera in absolute anger, and it has worked really, really well. So let's put this over on the camera. It is, I'm going to say, a mini FPV camera, those of you which know, and you can see by the size of my hand how small this FPV camera is. That's the HD Dart 250, and it is an ideal camera to go in the nose because it's very small. I've not used the supplied mount, instead I've just used some hot glue, as you can see here, just to restrain it in place. Now, what I'm going to go and do is go and cut to some FPV footage. Now, the irony here is that I'm just going to go straight into the narration because I know how that camera performs. So first of all, let's get the bad news over and done with, which is when you use this camera in complete pitch black conditions, it is not very good, to the point you may have already seen that I'd land this model into some trees because I saw the headlights through the trees and that was it. I was in the ground. Okay, so there's the bad news about the Caddx Ratel Starlight, is that you do need light. That's the caveat to this camera. But keep in the back of your mind is that is the worst point for this camera. However, if you are flying in late evening to dusk, or if you are flying in the early morning and the sun is just coming up, you get that little bit of extra light, then that is where this camera really does perform. So here you would have seen, like I said, I know what it's like, and this is why I can share my experience with you, is that in the middle of the dawn, when there's just a little bit of light, it goes to a very light black and white picture, and it's perfectly, and you would be perfectly capable to navigate around the sky, as what you can see on your screen right now. Then, the moment you get any form of daylight, the Ratel, just on the default settings, has a really rich and, I'm going to say, slightly saturated feel to its colour image. And to be honest, for me, and probably you too, that is a nice flying experience, because if you're flying in fields or in plain tarmac, for example, it really does make the different colour greens pop. And that is super important, because if you're jumping trees and you're going from hedge to bush to tree, you need to see the contrast in colours. So there we go. We have seen it at its worst when it's pitch dark. We have seen it at, I'm going to say, at its best in those very low light conditions, which is in very, very early dawn, but the sun has just started to come up and there's some ambient light. Starlight is probably the best description of that. It's not completely pitch dark, but it's starlight. And then it really does come into its own for a daytime FPV camera, so that you are able to see colours in really saturated colours, really nice to fly with. And of course, if you were using this camera maybe at night in a car park where there is ambient lighting, it's going to be absolutely perfect. The reason why I bought the camera is because I had heard really good stories about it, and that it was good in dawn conditions. I was kind of hoping it was going to be good in the dark. Unfortunately, we need a camera which is more specialised than the Starlight camera from Caddx to do that, and I've got reviews coming up very, very shortly, not only on the Foxeer Cat 2, which I actually went to Foxeer and asked for that camera specifically. I have also been to Banggood and I have asked for a review sample of the Runcam Night Eagle Pro. That one's on back order until the 1st of September, so we've got got to wait a month for that one, but just be aware, I've already got the Foxeer Cat 2. There's going to be a review coming out on that one very shortly, but that one is $20 more expensive than the one which we've just been talking about, and you may not be flying at night. However, I have a very distinct interest in flying at night, and that's where we're going to go off and look at some other cameras for that scenario specifically. However, that said, for the Caddx Ratel Starlight, if you want an all-rounder which is going to cover you from literally from dawn to dusk, not a bad camera at all, and I have been personally super impressed with it. Remember, I bought that camera out of my own money for my own abuses. Now, just to be 100% aware, I've been to put a link to that camera in the video description. It is an affiliate link, and if you use that link, you will be supporting this channel. Remember, something which I like to be 100% open and honest about. If you have any questions or comments about this camera, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. And on that note, it is time for me to go. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, howdy, I'm Matt, welcome aboard. Don't forget to press the red subscribe button and of course press the bell notification so that YouTube notifies you when the next video is out, which could be a review like this with the Caddx Ratel, which is, I genuinely mean it, pretty good, quite impressed with the money which I paid for it. It could be the Foxeer Cat 2, which I mentioned a few moments ago, or we could be dispatching some foam. Cut to the picture. On that note, from myself, Matt, a big thank you for taking the time to join me here at the workbench to take a look at the Caddx Ratel. As always, from myself, Matt, cheerios!